If you're looking for a new language to learn in 2024, well, I've got 5 for you. I've searched far and wide for the absolute best languages to rock your world right now, including one total showstopper never before mentioned in a story learning video. So, which one is going to make it to your New Year's resolution list?
駅伝部だったんですけど、みんなでたすきをつないでゴールを目指すとか、作品を誰一人欠けずに作るっていうことがすごく好きで。
I don't know about you, but I think Japanese doesn't need any special reason for learning it. It's just so beautiful, and that's reason enough. Did you know that in the US and Canada, Japanese is the most searched language on the internet? That's right, and it ranks 6th in internet searches worldwide. You shouldn't be surprised. The world has been crazy about Japanese pop culture since the early 90s. Also, many popular video games are made by Japanese companies, and all these fans want in on the language. But I have even better reasons to go for it. If you like getting out and about like me, then there are many incredibly cool things you can do in Japan, and knowing Japanese will definitely give you a more authentic experience. Just last week, in fact, I was in an old traditional Japanese inn getting served all this amazing food and drink and getting all the explanations and all of that. It was really cool to be able to do that in Japanese, but whether you're into traditional koto or shamisen lessons, maybe Japanese pottery readings, I don't know, hiking a pilgrimage trail, something like that. Or maybe you're just into cosplay. I don't know. Point is, learning Japanese can be a pretty smart thing to do. Also a pretty good career move. Japan is the US's 4th largest trading partner, and Japanese language skills are becoming very, very useful. Just got to wrap your head around all those politeness rules.
Asas! Arigatou! Arigatou gozaimasu! Kansha no kotoba mo mitsukarimase.
Want to hear something wild? In 2021, Japan shattered the internet speed record at 319 terabits per second. Now, what does that mean for the likes of you and me? Let's just say in a single second, you could download your favorite 5.5 million songs on Spotify. Yep, that is Japanese engineering for you. Not the only tech star on this language list, mind you. So, how does Japanese work?
思ってることを日本語で言うのは本当難しいだと思いますよ。私たちは本当にうまくいきたいなと思ったら、一番大事なことはなるべく早く思ってることを日本語で言ってみなければならないんだと思います。
You might have heard that Japanese has 3 different writing systems, and they all work together as one. There is hiragana and katakana. They aren't particularly hard to learn. They each have 46 letters, and there are 2 versions of the same thing. You just use them in different ways. And this alphabet is really fun to write with. It only has 5 vowels, just like English.
They are
A, I, U, E, O.
The nice thing is that each vowel only has 1 sound. It's really a lot simpler than English pronunciation. The consonants are also pretty straightforward.
This kanji means blessing. So it could be blessing from nature, blessing from God, blessing from anything, anybody. We actually use that word a lot in life, like daichi no megumi, so blessing from the land.
And these kanji are the hard part. In daily use in Japan, there are around 2,000 odd kanji. But if you take your time, you can just learn a few a day. You'll get there eventually. You can actually write any Japanese sentence just using only hiragana. It's just a lot easier to read with all 3, which is what we include in my books of short stories in Japanese. If you ask me, this is one of the things that makes Japanese utterly captivating. As for making all the lovely sounds of Japanese, well, you can breathe a sigh of relief because there are no tones. Move over, Mandarin. There are no tones at all in Japanese. Although, but basically there's no tones. The pitch of your voice does matter a bit though.
And when we say 私は日本語を話します, the intonation of the whole sentence goes like this. 私は日本語を話します. And if you pay close attention to each word, you know there are differences in pitch. 私は日本語を話します.
One important part of sounding Japanese is using sound effects to express yourself, but that is entirely up to you.
サクサク、ふわふわ、シャキシャキ、もちもち。
Ready for the easy bits? Well, here they come. Japanese has no noun gender, no articles. There are only 2 irregular verbs and only 2 basic tenses, past and non-past.
If you were to say I go in Japanese is 私は行きます。
The grammar can be a little bit hard to wrap your head around, but it's actually incredibly logical once you get to know it. And the trickiest thing you'll deal with is verb endings and particles. A particle, in case you don't know, it's a tiny word that tells us who did what in the sentence, which helps because Japanese sentences, for one thing, don't have any spaces in them, so they're going to mark the way. Once you've got the hang of it, better learn some keigo as well to make sure you're always polite, although there might be some polite competition up ahead.
Och sen så också så skriker Nilo, då jag kan inte koncentrera mig när Nilo skriker, så att ja.
If you're English, there is a good chance you have Viking blood, so this might be the language for you. But gone are the days of that merciless old Norse grammar, and modern Swedish is a thing of simplicity and beauty.
Ja means bye and hej means hej. Ja, jag älskar dig mycket.
Tack.
Tack. Tack. Tack så mycket. Tack. Oh yeah, it means thank you.
Told you it's a perfect match if you're looking for some Scandinavian serenity.
Och i och med att jag har varit ute ganska mycket och lyssnat på många olika djur så har jag lärt mig lite hur de olika djuren låter när de går, alltså deras fotsteg. Så kände jag okej, det här påminner lite om räv, men den låter mycket tyngre.
The most chilled out guy in Sweden, I bet. Just imagine experiencing the phenomenon of the midnight sun and waking up to the Swedish custom of fika.
This is a good one. Fika. And it basically means to meet up with your friends for coffee. So you say, ska vi ta en fika? It's like, do you want to meet for coffee?
Swedes take this very seriously, and if you're an introvert, this Nordic dream is about to get even better. Swedes, they don't do small talk. Well, maybe all these things are why Swedish people have one of the longest life expectancies in the world.
Och den som inte är helan tar han heller inte halvan får helan går.
Also, they rank #1 in the world for quality of life and green living. So if you don't mind the cold, sounds like a pretty good place to be. And of course, you can do this without knowing any Swedish, but you're not going to feel very Viking, are you?
Sjuksköterska.
Sjuksköterska. Sjuksköterska. Sjuksköterska.
Nobody said pronouncing words was going to be easy, but let's look for the silver lining. Swedes beat us hands down when it comes to pretty letters. It's snowing all over these vowels. You just have to practice saying them.
O, Ä, Ö.
There are 9 Swedish vowels altogether, and most of the other letters are pretty easy to pronounce. Well, that is until you get to the infamous SJ sound.
Hui. Hui. Hui.
Come on, that's not so hard, right? This is the easiest language on my list today. Word order in a Swedish sentence goes subject, verb, object, just like English. So once you know a few words, you can easily make your own sentences.
Jag är i en skog. Jag är i en skog. I'm in a forest.
Words for a thing and the thing work differently. See how the is glued to the end of the word? Adjectives usually come before the noun, but you can also put adjectives at the end, exactly like English. So score 2 for easy. Another thing that got easier is the noun genders. There used to be 3, now there are only 2. But wait, there's more. Swedish has verb conjugation, but only for time. And one cool feature you just have to love is the pitch accent.
For example, Swedish in Swedish is svenska. 2 stresses. It is not like svenska. It is not svenska. It is svenska. Isn't that cute?
Isn't that cute? Definitely. Go Swedish. If you're enjoying this, by the way, please give us a thumbs up and come join our community over here at StoryLearning. We have lots of surprises up our sleeve.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम आशिमा है। मैं भारत से हूँ। हिंदी मेरी मातृभाषा है और मैं उतनी ही अच्छी तरह इंग्लिश भी बोल सकती हूँ।
Namaste. What does Hindi make you think of? Colourful festivals, the Taj Mahal, Bollywood movies? How about the stunning script you get to write with? Well, India is famous for some incredible things, and although there are many languages here, Hindi is the heartbeat of Indian culture. Over 600 million people speak it. Now, if you've never been to India, it's one of the most addictive travel experiences you can have. And if you really want to talk to fascinating people, learn a bit of Hindi before you go.
नहीं चाहिए जी नहीं राम राम जी नहीं चाहिए जी अभी नहीं ठीक है कहाँ जाना है एयरपोर्ट हाँ छोड़ जी नहीं यार.
But it's not just about having a cool travel language. Hindi is a great one to learn for international business, especially as India just keeps on growing and keeps on evolving. It's going to keep happening. I hardly need to tell you how good they are at IT. Listen to this. You might know Hindi is the 3rd most spoken language in the world, but I have a bigger number for you. As of 2023, India has overtaken China as the country with the biggest population. Now, if you're doing some maths in your head, add this in. Already 5% of all YouTube content out there is Hindi. So what I think is learning Hindi for big business is a no-brainer, but it's also perfectly okay to do it for the yoga and the tigers. First of all, how do they write like this? Devanagari script is just the coolest thing ever, an ancient and fascinating script. But if you want the satisfaction of being able to write this way, you first need to pick up some words. And if you like expressive ones, well, you've come to the right place, my friend. Hindi has roots in Sanskrit. Need I say any more?
तो आगे हम देखेंगे स्वर अक्षर अ से अह तक। तो आइए इसको जो है हम पढ़ना सीखते हैं। A.
But how on earth are you going to pronounce those squiggles? Great news, there are only 46 of them, and Hindi is phonetic. Good news, but don't get lazy. The grammar, well, it can be a bit of a pain.
Do not say बारिश आ रही है. Instead, you should say बारिश हो रही है to mean it is raining.
In a Hindi sentence, everything has a gender, and the verb always comes at the end. You have to conjugate these verbs, and this is the trickiest part of learning Hindi, matching your verbs and adjectives to the gender. Then there are some formalities to learn. Hindi has 3 levels of politeness. It's all about the rank, you see. Another little challenge with Hindi is that it uses, wait for it, postpositions instead of prepositions. It's not tiger is in the jungle, it's tiger the jungle is in. Yeah, stranger things are coming though.
수수하고 편안하게 다가가고 이번에 리옹 단역도 그러니까 꾸며지지 않게 그냥 자연스럽게 다가가게 됐는데
Korea is full of surprises. It went from 10 to 100 in just a few years, and with it, Korean has become the hot new language to learn. It's amazing how media and art can help spread languages far beyond their original borders.
저는 거의 매일 한국 드라마 보든가 아니면 예능 그런 거 많이 이렇게 보고 그냥 뭔가 따라하기 그렇게 보던 것 같아요.
It's the 3rd most searched language in the US, and it's jumped to number 5 on our old friend Duolingo. So chances are a few years from now, you'll be bumping into Korea speakers wherever you go.
제 이름은 켈리예요. 한국 이름은 장미예요. 저는 미국 사람이에요. 제 고향은 워싱턴 DC예요.
This is a taste of what you could sound like if you learn Korean. What do you think? And it's a language with a unique story. Somehow ancient and very modern all at the same time. I mean, if you love gadgets and technology, you probably already know that Korea's tech scene is pretty dazzling.
Dazzlingly fast internet speeds changed Korean culture. Online gaming soon became a phenomenon. PC bangs, or PC gaming rooms to you and I, sprung up all over Seoul.
South Korea is a giant in the tech world, especially with telecom and IT. The economy is booming, and if you ever want in on those amazing advantages, it's a no-brainer to learn Korean. Of course it is. And the beauty industry, something I know all about, it's groundbreaking stuff. Even if you're more into nature and finding hidden paths, well, trust me, you're going to find some brilliant things.
옛날 옛적에 엄마 청개구리와 아들 청개구리가 살았어요.
Let's get your biggest fear out the way first. This is not Mandarin Chinese. There's no 20,000 characters to learn. Korean writing is much easier than Chinese. The alphabet only has 24 letters. It's the most logical and simple alphabet on the planet. If you appreciate intelligent systems, well, check this out. Hangul is really fun to write, and you can learn it in just a few hours. What about the grammar? It's hard, I won't lie, but it's also very logical. And once you get it, everything kind of clicks into place. Korean verbs come at the end of a sentence. So when you're scanning a text, the trick is to look for the last word, and then you'll know what the action is. Verbs are also very predictable and follow easy patterns. Korean has particles, just like Japanese, so you can easily see exactly which word is kind of doing what. But what we really want to know is, are the words easy to say?
The sound of the letter Q is close to the K sound in the word key. Some example words that start with Q are 칼, 카드, and 코.
Korean has a few double consonants, just a stronger sound, but there are no tones, and for the most part, you pronounce Korean words the way you write them, so it's totally doable. Try this out.
뿌리, 뼈, 빨래, 뽀뽀.
How about those honorifics though? Yeah, you knew this was coming.
Here's an example of what I mean. Both 사람 and 분 mean person, but 분 is used to show extra respect to that person you're talking about.
Just like in Japanese, in Korean, you must choose your words very carefully, but there's a very cool person in your mirror that you can practice on.
네, 오늘도 고생했어요.
And if you do fancy learning Korean, we recently released our own complete Korean beginner program that's built with the story learning method. In fact, we have programs for many other languages too, including Japanese, including Swedish. So if you like the idea of learning a language through stories, well, you should definitely take a look. It's suitable for complete beginners, and there's a 7-day free trial available right now. In fact, if you fancy a free tour of exactly how it all works, I have a story learning kit that I put together, which is a great way just to get the gist of how story learning works. Learning a language through stories is pretty cool. The link is in the description below. Go and check it out. Okay, here it comes. A language I've never ever broached before. Ready to be blown away? Romanian. That's right, Romanian. See, I saw you hunting for a hidden gem there, so I found it for you deep in the heart of Eastern Europe. And because you absolutely do not have to only learn languages that everyone else is learning. Beautiful lyrics in the song, by the way, but let's slow it down.
Poate sună ciudat limba română pentru voi, dar nu este chiar atât de greu de învățat, mai ales că la bază ea se seamănă foarte mult cu italiana, cu spaniola, cu portugheza și destul de puțin cu greaca.
You'll probably be able to figure out some Romanian words on your own. Anything look familiar here? Well, this means the legend fascinated tourists, and it's truly a language of fascinating legends, like the dragon rider who learned every language on earth, the polyglot who really shocks. So this one is for you, rebel learners, the forgotten Romance language, something to learn for the sheer pleasure of it. Check this out. Forget the cities, go do something wild with your Romanian skills, like a horse safari through Transylvania, something that's on my bucket list right there at the top. You'll stay overnight with local families in small villages, gather mushrooms, and of course, speak Romanian. And if you do want to live in a city, there is high demand for skilled foreign workers in the Paris of the East, as it's known, especially if you also speak any of these languages.
Cui trebuie să dai bani, cu ce instructor trebuie să mergi ca să faci mai repede, că și acolo era un pic, era cu o listă de așteptare, doamna Daniela, că nu era chiar așa la Suceava, la fabrica de permise de la Suceava nu era, te duci oricând vineai.
The first thing that jumps out at you is how very much like Italian it seems, but also how Slavic it sounds. So which one is it? Well, this is why I'm fascinated. It's totally unique, a Romance language that grew up in the Slavic part of Europe.
If you want to say good morning, you say bună ziua.
The first time you look at a Romanian word list, you'll swear you're seeing a dialect of Italian. In fact, some Romanian expressions are exactly the same in certain Italian dialects. Take a look. But then you see all these other words that are completely and utterly different. Now listen to this.
If you'd like to thank somebody, you either say mulțumesc, but you can also say the short version, which is merci.
Did she just speak French? You've got to love a language that gives you options. Take a look at these Slavic words and the Turkish, Greek and Hungarian words. It makes perfect sense when you see where Romanians live, doesn't it? You're probably thinking it must be very hard to pronounce all these words, but Romanian pronunciation is really quite easy. You mostly say things the way that they're spelled, but the grammar, well, here's where things get interesting. Romanian grammar is a fascinating blend of Latin, Romance, Slavic structure. It uses the Latin alphabet, but with 5 extra letters.
But we have an A with an accent like this, which is A, an A with an accent like this, which is U, an S with a comma, which is sh, and a T with a comma, which is ts.
There are 3 genders, 3 noun cases, verb conjugations similar to other Romance languages. The thing works like Swedish. There are even double negatives, and look how much fun adjectives are. You still there? Well, one amazing feature of Romanian is these words, little gold nuggets from the ancient and very mysterious Dacian and Thracian languages. Truly a language for dragon riders. And for you?
They're good, bro.
Good, sorry.
Well, there you go. All you need is a partner and a guitar. A personal connection to any language makes it instantly become more fun and easy to learn. So go find that connection, why don't you? And if you're curious about other fascinating languages, I have a great video for you right over here. So go and click it right now.